Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. So, Anthony Joshua is on another world tour in the United States trying to find a trainer. He and Robert Garcia decided to part ways. I saw that coming. I saw that shit coming a mile away. And not really because Robert Garcia did a poor job with Anthony Joshua. The number one reason is Robert Garcia has such a demanding commitment to his stable of fighters back in Oxnard. For him to get up and just dedicate himself to be a one-fighter trainer, it's just not something that can work. But it was an opportunity for him to go out there and to try to get a heavyweight champion underneath his belt. So he jumped on it. His whole team supported him. The whole stable of fighters supported him. He went out there. It didn't work out as planned. I think he ran into some issues with Anthony Joshua. From my understanding, where Anthony Joshua was a bit stubborn, at sometimes was being a little bit of a know-it-all. And Robert Garcia and the other trainer had a tough time just trying to get through the camp and getting Anthony Joshua to want to do things. But Robert Garcia understood, as a fighter, because he was a fighter, he was a champion, he knows how it is. When you're out there, you're cranky, and someone's trying to get you to do things that you don't want to do, you're tired, etc., etc. He understood, but he felt like he just had to work too hard to get Anthony Joshua to kind of conform and to try to, be okay with learning new things. So the thing is this, so I felt the fact that Robert Garcia had that stable in Oxnard, he didn't want to really be gone from there too long. Two, the fact that Anthony Joshua was giving him a whole lot of pushback during the training camp. And three, when he got into the ring, Anthony Joshua just didn't win. I felt Robert Garcia was like, okay, I took a shot at it. You miss 100% of shots you don't take. Took my shot. We missed. I'm done with that. But he's a little bit agitated because he feels like he's not getting the credit that he deserved with the changes he was able to make with Anthony Joshua. Now, he's going on record and said, because, he's on the defensive now, he feels like we did better than anyone expected against Usyk. So he defends his work with Anthony Joshua as he breaks his silence after splitting with the heavyweight and claims, now this is what gets me. Any new trainer will look good because he's set for easy fights. Now, do you think he's hating now, or is he correct? The truth is this. Anthony Joshua is set for fights that are easier than Usyk. You can't call any fight an easy fight, but if we're just being real and just, having a conversation, if Anthony Joshua gets in there and fights Dillian White, that is an easy fight. And whoever's training him shouldn't get credit for that win. If Anthony Joshua gets in the ring and he fights, who else is that heavyweight, man? Let's say he fights Oscar Rivas. And he goes and he just totally dismantles him. The trainer shouldn't get any credit for that win. If Anthony Joshua goes and he fights Lucas Brown and obliterates him, the trainer shouldn't get any credit for that fight. Now, if Anthony Joshua gets his ass in the ring with Deontay Wilder and blasts Wilder out, well, then Anthony Joshua's trainer may need a little bit of credit. If Anthony Joshua gets in there with Tyson Fury and beats Tyson Fury, his trainer may need a little credit. If Anthony Joshua can get in there with Jalil Zhang or Hrgovic and stop them, Anthony Joshua's trainer may deserve a little credit. But if he's fighting a Dillian White, if he's going to fight Jermaine Franklin, the trainer doesn't deserve any credit. And I agree with Robert Garcia, but it depends on who AJ fights. Now, the thing is this. Garcia feels that when it comes to Alexander Usyk, although Joshua lost a couple of times, he feels they did good, man. And he's not saying he's sorry about Joshua looking for a new trainer, but I just think Garcia's hands are tied. He's like, look, whatever Joshua decides to do, it's going to make him look good. He's like, Eddie Hearn and his team, they're all setting it up right now to make Joshua look good in this next fight, man. And he did underscore the importance of Anthony Joshua building up his his confidence. And I think that's important too. I think Anthony Joshua definitely needs to build up his confidence. But if you ask me, with Joshua being on this world tour, going all over, looking for a trainer, right? I personally think, and I'm just being real with you, right? I think Anthony Joshua should go back to Robert McCracken. That's just what I think, because it doesn't matter if he fights Dillian White with whatever trainer he has, because obviously he got rid of Robert Garcia. And Robert Garcia is obviously pissed off a little bit about the fact that he may not get the credit he deserves for the work that he put in with Anthony Joshua. I think he needs to be back with Robert McCracken, because Robert McCracken is the guy that got Anthony Joshua to fight with confidence, to be aggressive, be on that front foot. And when you bounce around from trainer to trainer, I think you get so many different perspectives to where you end up not doing things instinctively anymore. And I've talked about this in videos before. You see it in Andy Ruiz, man. You know, you're seeing it in, what's his name, Ryan Garcia. You know, even with Miguel Cotto, once he got away from Evangelista, he stopped using that damn, you know, that killer left hook. You know what I'm saying? And then he hooked on Freddie Roach, and they went back to kind of the basics, focusing on what his strengths were. But I think with Anthony Joshua, that's what he needs to do. Go back to what your strengths are, man. You know, so what, you came up short in a significantly closer affair with Usyk. You know, it was a split decision. A lot of people felt Usyk won that fight. I do too. But it just wasn't the results they wanted. But I think it has to do a lot with Joshua's confidence, man. When you get touched on the chin like that, man, and you just can't hit somebody and getting countered. If you look at how Usyk was countering Anthony Joshua, even how he was getting off on him. You know, he was hitting him with some shots that, you know, Joshua just couldn't react quick enough to. He couldn't get out the way of some of those shots, man. So it is what it is, man. But it looks like at least Robert Garcia, although he's a little sour about not getting the credit he deserves, because Anthony Joshua did look good, especially those first 6 rounds. It's just, he got winded, man. He's a big boy. He's a lot of muscle. But he was looking good. He was moving almost every second of every round, and he had Usyk a little bit befuddled at moments. But Anthony Joshua did call Garcia and said, look, man, you know, this is what I'm going to do. And Garcia said he gave him his blessing. But he said, even if it was me again, he says, I understand what they're trying to do sometimes in the spring. And he said it's difficult for him to get over there, like I said, because he has that huge stable of fighters. And Robert Garcia has guys who can fight. Robert Garcia has monsters over there in his camp, so in his stable. So he can't just, you know, stop training his guys to pick up and go over there to Anthony Joshua. You know, you got guys like, you know, Bam Rodriguez, man, who is really on top of the world right now. You can't just leave him and go over there to train Robert Garcia. So now to go over to train Anthony Joshua. So Joshua's not looking for a new trainer. It could look to bring in another American to succeed Garcia. And the thing is, he's looking at, which I pray he does not do, Virgil Hunter. Stay away from Virgil Hunter. I just don't think Virgil Hunter is a good trainer for Anthony Joshua. And Derrick James, right? Derrick James may be the trainer for him. He needs to get down there with Derrick James. I think it's Derrick James. I'm hearing rumors that he's going to be hooking up with Derrick James as well. I've seen that on several different posts. But a definitive answer hasn't been, a definitive decision hasn't been made yet. But we'll get a firm answer on what he's doing here pretty soon. Because if he's hanging out down there and with the Lions Only crew, that's where he needs to be, because those guys are offense first, and those guys are in good condition. They get excellent sparring, and the track record speaks for itself. Even look at what the guy Frank Martin. Look at what he's doing. Okay, even though I think he has a tough fight with Rivera, but just look at what Derrick James is doing with his fighters. Like there's something special going on down there. And as of right now, I think either Freddie Roach or Derrick James are the 2 best trainers for Anthony Joshua. I really feel that that's what needs to happen. But he gonna need to be with somebody, because if he's looking to fight Deontay Wilder, he gonna need somebody to get his confidence back, because he can't be gun shy against Deontay Wilder. The best thing to do against Deontay Wilder is, as soon as that bell rings, jump on him and catch his ass off guard. Because if you sit back and let Deontay Wilder get that range, because Deontay Wilder has quick hands, that fight's going to be over with. As soon as Deontay Wilder touches him, the fight's over. So he's got to catch Deontay Wilder cold, where Deontay Wilder can't even react. Like, as soon as ding, come out there and just let power shots go. Something's going to get through. Wilder's going to go straight back with his arms extended out, fully extended out, and he's going to get caught and he can get stopped by Joshua. But if Joshua comes in trying to be cute and box, fight's over. That's why I think he needs to be with Freddie Roach or Derrick James, who are coaches who are all about aggression and offense first. And that's what I think Joshua needs to do. Look, he's powerful, he's big. You know, he can fight, man. He's a great boxer, great skill set. But you can't take a lion and try to make him into a pussycat, because they no longer want to fight. They want to tickle. And that's what Joshua seems like he's become comfortable with, is trying to tickle his opponents instead of fight and destroy them. And that's what we need to get him back to do. But Garcia wants Joshua out of his comfort zone, and I don't think Virgil Hunter is going to do a better job at all. I think Derrick James this is my opinion. I think Derrick James will do a better job, but I don't know. We'll see who he decides to pick. I know he's going to have, right now they're talking about Deontay Wilder, a comeback fight in Deontay Wilder, but the reality is they probably want to have, and this would make the most sense to me, because I've heard this, Eddie Hearn says so much crap. We're looking to have one or two fights and then a Wilder fight. We're looking to have, maybe we'll fight Wilder next. We don't know. The reality is this. They're looking to have 2 or 3 fights for Anthony Joshua to get his confidence up. And that gives him 2 or 3 fights to work with the new trainer and make sure the chemistry is there, then go into a big fight. That's what they're looking at for Anthony Joshua. So realistically, 2023 will probably be a get-back year. You hear Keith Thurman always talking about getting his get-back. That's going to probably be a get-back year for Anthony Joshua. Maybe he fights 3 times, and then at the end of 3 pretty easy fights, although the training camps are hard, and at the end of the year, it culminates with a big fight against Wilder. But at the end of the day, Robert Garcia, he's a little bit sour. He's pissed because he feels like, because he didn't get the win against Usyk, and no matter who Anthony Joshua chooses, he's going to be in there with easy fights, and then that trainer is going to get credit for bringing back the old Joshua, when in fact he feels that if those trainers were going up against Usyk, they would probably lose too. And I don't know. What do you think? That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Leave your comments below on Robert Garcia. Like and subscribe. Leave a donation if you'd like to support the channel. And I'm in the breeze.